Hey everybody, this is Stephen with Junior Achievement of North Florida. We have another JA Career Speaker Series. We have Alex Maniatis, part of Harborview Advisors, and so we're going to get to know him a little bit more and what he does. So Alex, go ahead and introduce yourself, any fun personal facts that you would like to share.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm Alex. Thanks for having me. I am currently a rising senior at the University of Virginia, and I'm double majoring in economics and statistics. And this summer, I've joined Harborview's intern class with 7 other interns, and Harborview's an investment banking firm, and here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm also from Jacksonville, Florida, so born and raised here. So it's nice to be back for the summer. Yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I guess some fun facts. I am a twin, so
Okay.
a twin brother. Yeah, we're fraternal, so you can definitely tell us apart. And another thing, my family has grown up with golden retrievers, so I'm a big golden retriever dog person, and hope probably not in my early 20s, like in terms of getting a dog, but I definitely would like a golden retriever as I get older. So
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to have a fellow companion as you progress through life. That's great, man. Okay, so you're from Jacksonville, and so you went to high school here. What made you decide in pursuing your education after high school, and then what led you to University of Virginia?
When I was in high school, I was running cross country and track, and originally I had my goal was to go to a university college to run cross country, track and field.
Okay.
And so that sort of narrowed my school set to sort of B3 smaller liberal arts schools, and that's where I was sort of targeting my search. And I realized as my senior year went on that what I wanted for college changed.
Yeah.
So I started looking at more of a larger research university, and then I visited UVA. I went to Bowles High School, and there were 5 kids the year before me who'd gone to UVA.
Okay.
And I saw similar interests, similar skill sets, all that stuff. And so I applied there and got in, and I decided to change my trajectory from that smaller liberal arts school to a larger university with some professional schools, a big research foundation there. So, so then wanted to go to University of Virginia, and I've been there. And in terms of academics, I did not have. I sort of went in as I'm going to do a liberal arts education. I'm going to figure it out because my dad is a doctor, and but I didn't think I really found medicine too appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew that wasn't my focus, but UVA has a public policy school, they have a business school, they have the College of Arts and Sciences, which I'm in currently for economics and statistics. So I did have a lot of decisions to make when I got there, but that was the fun part because I tried a lot of different classes, tried a lot of different areas of study, and sort of settled into my area.
Yeah.
And here we are.
That's awesome. Okay, so did you go into your freshman year knowing that you were going to double major in economics and statistics, or did that kind of progress as you moved on through?
That definitely progressed. I took a public policy class my first year, and so I'll just orient you a little bit. At UVA, you apply to the professional schools, which is public policy, business. There's an education school, schools like that. You don't directly apply to those. You apply in your second year, so that you do your last 2 years in the schools. So at the time, I was thinking public policy. Then I transitioned towards the business school, thinking about, hey, maybe I'll do, they have finance, accounting, marketing, IT, all that stuff. So I basically progressed from, actually I kind of skipped the middle point. It was progressed from public policy to then I was thinking about law. And then my second year was when I focused on business. And instead of doing that route where I just go into the business school and just become like a finance and accounting major, I knew that I liked being in the College of Arts and Sciences because that's where I applied to, the College of Arts and Sciences. So that's where I was taking these assortment of classes. And I knew that I wanted to be business oriented, but I wanted to do that in a different way. So I knew that economics was, in terms of understanding human behavior, how the world works, all that stuff, like combination of psychology, being market oriented, all that stuff, it's all in one. And then statistics, I have a good mathematical foundation and a good, being able to do data analysis, that side of it. So I thought it was a good intersection. And I thought this, and I still do, obviously, to say that it's a good, has created a good skill set for me. So that's kind of the way I approached it.
I think it's also encouraging to hear, to where I think there's a lot of fear that you have to know exactly what you're going to be doing, like from day one. I mean, even for me, I changed my major my second year of college, and because I realized I kind of want to pivot based on like the classes that I'm taking. And so it's important to know that you don't have to know everything the very first day that you step in. It's like you can get to interact with different types of people, get involved with different organizations and clubs, and then also take different classes based on kind of your likes and dislikes. All right, so you've been at UVA. This is your senior year, correct?
I'm going to be a senior. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so you have experienced UVA for a couple of years pre-COVID, and then all of a sudden 2020 hit, and then COVID came and completely shifted the entire world for absolutely everybody. So explain the importance of why, or like your experience, but then why is it important to adapt and innovate in the midst of honestly chaos and just absolute craziness?
I think COVID was, obviously very difficult in the way that I think I had less face-to-face interaction with, everyone. Even though you're on Zoom, teachers or professors had to, work towards, like the first semester that when the pandemic hit, we were sent home and classes went from in-person to online. That transition isn't the quickest. Like a lot of these professors have never done online classes.
Right.
They didn't know how to the class style, how to do that the best way, and how to engage their students the best. So definitely was sort of a downgrade reduction in sort of your learning environment. And then obviously that carried into my third year last year, where I had all my classes were online. I would say that it did help with that. I was settling into, I had decided my major. I wasn't sort of experimenting. I sort of knew what I wanted to do and was rolling with it, and had my classes, scheduled based on how to complete the major. But I mean, if I was a first year, second year, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then, you have less, I don't want to say that like there's less opportunity, because, things still did function in a different way. But you were less likely to run into things that maybe you were interested, but it just never came your way because you're not on campus walking around talking to people about things. So I think that did hurt. I would say lucky for me is I was in that stage of college where I sort of knew what I wanted to do. I was in the clubs that I enjoyed and that I wanted to continue in. But I do think that making the most of the situation was the most important thing. So going out of your way to interact with your peers and your professors, and to continue the things that you did before, just in a different way, was sort of the most crucial thing. And for me, it was an important time because I'm trying to figure out what, this internship that I got this summer, I was trying to figure that out, and what I want to do. Economics and statistics is fairly broad. So, this internship's in investment banking, but at the time I was considering a lot of positions, either in finance and consulting and
Right.
A lot of related areas because it's a pretty broad skill set. So that there was a lot of networking calls, informational things that I was a part of, and I would say that COVID makes that a little bit more difficult. But I think the university provided a lot of great resources for me.
Great.
And I think you just can't, even in that environment, just continuing to know what you want, your goals, and find ways to meet them and attack that.
Right. Yeah. No, it's really important, and that's it's great to hear that UVA kind of stepped up and made sure that they were taking care of their students and also the professors, because my gosh, just the complete shift from in-person learning to virtual learning. Wow, the effort that it has to take, and well done. Now you're interning with Harborview. Like, how did you hear about this investment bank, and then why did you choose to come back to Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think Jacksonville. I obviously have a significant attachment to Jacksonville, and I knew that I was a little bit late to some of the investment banking in other areas, because I was looking into consulting options, and so as the year progressed, I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do, because it became the areas I was looking into was a few consulting jobs. Then there was some in statistics and data analytics, and then sort of I knew Harborview. I knew that it was a premier investment bank in Jacksonville. Nobody does what Harborview does in Jacksonville, and I knew that it would be very nice to be home, because obviously being in Virginia, I'm not home that often, and it sort of became like a perfect match. And I realized that investment banking was a career. I thought about it, but in terms of my direct skill set with economics and statistics, like consulting and the statistics jobs I was looking at,
right,
seemed obviously a better match right out the gate. But because in investment banking, most the other interns too, they have direct finance experience. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I didn't let that stop me, and there's a lot of things you can do on your firm to get there. So took a whack at it, and I had previous connections with Harborview, so I was able to have some good conversations there. Cool. And then parlayed that into this experience now, and it's been really great. And I love the team I'm with. I love Harborview as a whole, and doing some really interesting things and doing great work. So it turned into a great experience for me, and something that I'm probably gonna stay in investment banking moving forward. So
that's awesome. And so once again, it's neat to hear that you don't have to go down this direct route, knowing that you are an economics and statistics major. That doesn't mean that you are only completely tied to those types of internships, and to where you're able to be within a similar realm, but through networking, through previous connections, you've been able to move forward with a really great path. So that's awesome, Alex. So the final question for you is, and you kind of even mentioned a bit about it, is how has this internship helped change or solidify your perspective on the investment banking industry? And it sounds like you actually kind of want to stick with it.
Yeah. So I think what's nice about Harborview is they have a great culture, and it's sort of a synthesis. So a lot of the management at Harborview has come from different places all over the country, and they've brought different ideas, things that they have experienced at other firms and sort of brought it to Harvard as a synthesis. And it's a really great working environment. Obviously, not all investment banks are like that. There's different kinds of courses. So I've gotten to experience something really great. And outside of that, you also have to like what you're doing. You have to be passionate about the work that you're doing. And I think that I've really taken a deep dive into this finance space and specific the industry I'm working in, which I'm in the HR technology vertical. So I've learned a lot about that, how to, you're in the middle, you're dealing with clients and being client servicing, and at the same time being deeply analytical and being able to, talk about things that are, hard to talk at a high level, and be able to express that. So it's definitely been a lot of learning, but the thing I figured out is that I like doing it. I think that it's a good mix of communication plus analysis. So I think that it's a good space for me personally. Harborview has really, created a good internship program for me to learn that and figure that out for myself. Definitely want to move on, take this experience and see how this career path, where this career path takes me.
Yeah, that's great. And it's important to understand that whatever pathway you take, and for anybody, is you need to have some type of passion for what you do. But then also, just as important is the place that you work. Like, does it have a good culture? Does it have good leadership where they're going to take care of their employees? And so it's really encouraging to hear that Harborview does have a really great culture to where you're like, all right, this is honestly might be a little bit different than what I thought I would be doing, but because of the people, I'm going to stay. And so that's a really vital part of the job search, whatever time of life you're in. So that's great, Alex. I really appreciate you taking the time and describing a little bit about what you do at Harborview and just your experience throughout college. And so I wish you the best of luck as you continue on.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Steven. Thanks for having me.